Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Well, can you rent me out my room for the night? I got my $2.
I can't rent you out a room, no. The only people that come here are people that are arrested.
Well, ma'am, the only place I've ever seen, like, in my life that charges me for every day that I stay there is a hotel. So I thought that's what he might be running here.
So good evening, my name is Bill Dean. I'm the Deputy Chief of Police for the Virginia Beach, Virginia Police Department. I'm also the leader of the team of the assessing the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office for the next several days. I'd like to introduce the other members of the assessment team, Assistant Chief Kevin Hall from Rowan Community College, Department of Public Safety in New York. Commissioner Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies Incorporated of Gainesville, Virginia.
Good evening. My name is Brett Rule. I live at 162 Morgan Lane. I've lived in Charlotte County for 30 years now. My son, Brett Rule, was a veteran from the U.S. Army. He was a veteran of the Iraq War, and he was a victim of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. I feel. My son didn't come home from the war like he left us. He had PTSD. And he had severe injuries that he received in a car accident after he was discharged as a pedestrian when a car ran over him. He eventually wound up, like so many veterans do, as a homeless veteran with a drug addiction. After suffering with this for many years, we finally persuaded him to get help through the VA, and that was progressing along fairly well. When last Veterans Day, as a matter of fact, he was pulled over for running a stop sign on his bicycle while exiting a parking lot. The arresting officer managed to escalate the situation pretty easily. He had PTSD and he was a drug addict, but the situation was nonetheless escalated. And he was charged with resisting arrest and possession. I believe this accusation was false, but we won't ever really know. The case has been dropped because my son's dead. He died the 1st of October. And whether or not this was a factor in his death, I don't know, and I won't ever know.
My name is Andrew. I started Charlotte County COPWATCH because I personally experienced corruption here too. So 5 years ago I started Charlotte County COPWATCH because there is no community review board here. There is no COPWATCH here. Asking internal investigations to investigate themselves is like asking the mafia to investigate themselves. It's insane. So the reason why I'm here is to let you know that we're there. My suggestion also is I saw in your COLLIER accreditation that there's supposed to be good community relations. As you just found out, there is no community relations. I also called yesterday. Your phone rang off the hook because we put it all over Facebook to call in. People felt safer calling in than being around these guys right here because it's so corrupt.
They're bullies.
That's why my YouTube page hit 77 million views in 5 years doing corruption stories here nationwide. So we're asking for a community review board because there is no relations here. We're also asking too, this is one of the last places on the planet that doesn't have body cameras, car cameras, or court cameras. I will admit, body cameras is pushing it. It's a new thing, we still need it. But there's not even car cameras. It is unbelievable. Axon body cameras was offering the cameras for free. And they knew it. They wouldn't take them. That's a sign right there that something might not be right.
Hello, guys. I'd like to give my condolences to Mr. Rule. You know, it's unfortunate that he lost his son. However, it's been my experience that most members of the public have very little idea what these people in green suits do. You know, it's about getting a bail bondsman and a lawyer paid. You know, a jail cell is for someone that's a rapist, that's a murderer, that's a thief. You know, it's not for someone that's addicted to drugs. You know, if you want to help these people, you don't jail them, you don't torment them, you don't make them homeless. You know, I've got many things on here. You know, he brought up several of them. They run around at night and look for people, you know, like on bicycles that don't have lights on them, so they can get a consent to search. They can find out marijuana to take them to jail here and hold them for months on end because they know that if they can't post bond, these people wind up homeless, raped, they lose their jobs, they lose their families. They make things worse. You know, they don't help. You know, and then they charge them $2.75 a day to stay in this jail. If someone can't afford to post bond, how do you think they're going to pay you $3 a day to stay in a jail cell? You know, their thought processes aren't right. You know, it shouldn't need like a degree, you know, like to figure out that, you know, like if I don't have the $100 to post bail, how am I going to pay you $3 a day plus a $20 booking fee to sit in this jail cell and be tormented and raped every day? You know, it's a sickness, you know, like in our society. You know, they've had 5 jail deaths in the past 5 years. People jumped like to their deaths in there, kill themselves. The sheriff says he has no idea like what happened, and there's documented cases of COs, you know, at the jail taunting mentally ill, you know, inmates, and they end up like eating their own feces and smearing it, you know, on the walls. You know, no wonder why these people jump to their deaths in there, because there's no hope. You know, he takes over 40%, you know, of the budget. For what? He says that he prevents crime. People call a cop after the fact. I've never called a cop and been like, hey, 10 minutes from now somebody's breaking into my home. That's after the fact. How does he prevent crime? You don't prevent crime by arresting people for having small amounts of drugs and marijuana. That does nothing for society at all. Most of these officers, you know, when you speak to them, they're very rude, they're very confrontational, they don't want to answer, you know, any questions. See here. You've got violent criminals. You know, actually, like I work, you know, as a nurse's aide, and here recently, I had one of my patients. His home was burglarized, and he was beaten and robbed by a career criminal named Jeff Miller. Okay, Mr. Miller got arrested for burglary, like with a battery, I think it's like abuse of an elderly person, battery on someone 65 years or older. He was out of this jail the next day. I was out on bond for a DUI and got arrested by one of these tyrants for handing out flyers in Punta Gorda for Sheriff Pope. And they tried to off-bond me on a loitering charge and lock me in that jail for God knows how long, like until that case, you know, would have gone to trial. But you let someone like Jeff Miller, that victimizes the most vulnerable of our society, elderly and mentally ill people, you let him out of there the next day, and you say that you promote public safety? How does that make any sense whatsoever? They don't deserve any accreditation. You should investigate these people. They are wrong for what they do.
Right.
See what else? And they investigate people that try to bring about change. There's been several of my associates, I won't name them for obvious reasons, that have been investigated by Susan Edwards for making public records requests and confronting Sheriff PRUMMELL about his policies. That's why I won't put my name on that piece of paper, even though I know that they know who I am. But I do it out of principle so that when others come, that they know to remain anonymous, that they're not harassed or killed by one of these people. Because they do not serve the public interest. They help no one. If you can't even help Richard Lamont, a disabled mentally ill veteran that's got the IQ of a 12-year-old, and keep people like Jeffrey Miller, someone that's already been to prison for breaking into an elderly person's house and robbing them before, in fucking jail, then how are you going to protect the rest of society? I want you guys to tell me that. Can you explain that to me? Now that's all I have to say. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, sir, for your comment.
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done...
for life hating so much.
Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
Wow.
been on a bike before, what
Sheriff's
you're
getting a
doing
little too pushy.
is
You
the
work
hard
for
part.
us, Sheriff.
And
Just
keeping
keep
that
that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.